Good morning, Warsaw Missionary Church. Psalm 62, verses 1 and 2 says this: Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him. Truly he is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will never be shaken. My soul finds rest in God. How do we do that? When I was in high school, I remember I pulled my brother's 49 Ford pickup for about 4 miles with my 65 Impala. By the time we got to where we were headed, my engine had overheated. In fact, not long after that, I had to repair the engine. I had to put new rod bearings in because I pulled too heavy a load and I damaged the engine. We do the same thing with our soul. We pull too heavy a load in our lives and we damage our soul. So how do we fix that? Jesus tells us that in Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. If you notice the 3 verbs in there, if you can, just circle those. Come, take, and learn. Come, take, and learn. Come to Jesus. This is time for you every day, whether it's in the morning or the evening, for just you and Jesus. Your time alone with him. I know that you have many other things to do because your life is busy, but don't skip your time with Jesus. Come to Jesus and then take his yoke. Take his yoke. Give up control. A yoke is something that you put on. And he didn't say take and add his yoke to all the other yokes that you have. You know, your yokes are the expectation of other people's. Maybe parents or friends or your boss or your coworkers or your neighbors or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife. No, don't take their yokes. Don't add Jesus' yoke to theirs. Take his. See, if you're wearing everybody else's yoke, then the yoke's on you. It's about guidance. How do I get guidance from God? God, you and I dance. Do you know how to dance? I don't. I really don't. But here's what I do know. It's following. It's synchrony. It's staying in step. It's also art in motion. And that describes how we get guidance from God. How do we do that? We follow his lead. We take a step. Oops, the other direction. Then we spin around. Oh, that was cool. And then we take another step. And then we try something new and we fall down and we get back up and we keep dancing and we keep dancing. That's what it's like to get guidance from God. Trust him. If you trust yourself, you will work like crazy all of the time. If you trust in Jesus, you will follow his pattern for life. He has a pattern, a very simple pattern. 6 and 1, 6 and 1, 6 and 1. Work 6, take 1 off. Work 6, take 1 off. Divert daily. Have a daily time to divert. And then withdraw weekly. Have that 1 in 6 days. And then abandon annually. Divert daily, withdraw weekly, and abandon annually. Work that rhythm into your life. Because if you burn your candles at both ends, you're not as bright as you think you are. Come, take, and then thirdly, learn his attitude. It's one of gentleness and humility. In John 6:38, it says, For I have come down from heaven to do the will of God who sent me, not to do my own will. If there's anyone that could have had an arrogant attitude, it was Jesus. He could have said, hello, I'm here to save the world. Get out of my way. I have important things to do. But he never did that. He didn't find it necessary to act like that. Why? Because he was under the control of his Father. Why do we think we need to act like that? Here's a little poem called The Indispensable Man. Sometime when you're feeling important, sometime when your ego's in bloom, sometime when you take it for granted that you're the best qualified in the room, sometime when you feel that your going would leave an unfillable hole, just follow these simple instructions and see how they humble your soul. Take a bucket and fill it with water, put your hand in up to the wrist. Pull it out in the hole that's remaining is a measure of how you'll be missed. You can splash all you wish when you enter. You can stir up the water galore, but stop and you'll find that in no time, it looks quite the same as before. The moral of this quaint example is to do the best that you can. Be proud of yourself, but remember, there's no indispensable man. What did Jesus say? Come to me. Take my yoke and learn from me and find rest for your soul. That's my prayer for you. May your soul find rest today.